No, I'll Wi-Fi my iPhone. Oh, the guest, you don't need a pass? Okay. That's new then?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it used to work outside the clinic, not like we did it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see it here.
See it?
I see a Wi-Fi, so it must be on it then. Thank you.
Jack, did you send it?
Hey, Ray. How are you?
Send it to me and I'll send it to you. 862.
Thank you. Red. You're live, All right, let's call the meeting to order. Do the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence to remember the service and sacrifices of the armed service members who protect our nation and the first responders who protect our neighborhoods. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn?
Here.
Councilman Friedlander?
Here.
Councilman Brooks? Councilwoman Noon?
Here.
Councilman Salberg? Councilwoman Brooks?
Here.
Councilman Witovich?
Here.
Vice President Sackett?
Here.
President Kritz?
Here. Notice of this meeting was sent to the Daily Record and the Star Ledger, the official newspapers for the Township of Rockaway, on April 6, 2022. Notice was posted on the official bulletin boards of Rockaway Township. Item number 6, approval of minutes. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Jonathan? Please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Witovich?
Yes.
Vice President Sackett?
Yes.
President Kritz?
Yes. 7 yeses. Moving on to number 7, recognition of the Rockaway Township Volunteer Fire Department by our Mayor, Joe Jackson.
Thank you, President Kritz. I wanted to recognize the fire department. We had 2 substantial fires occur since our last council meeting. One at the mall. For those of you who weren't aware, if you've been to the mall, there's a section roped off with fire burns and singes in the roof. The other one happened at Rustic Ridge, where I think the efforts of our fire department probably saved at least a couple of buildings. We actually received a letter from Rustic Ridge, which I want to read to everybody. The Rustic Ridge community would like to send a note of appreciation to the Rockaway Township, Rockaway Borough, Piccadilly Arsenal, Mount Tabor Fire Departments for the gallant response to the building fire on March 17, 2022 at 1:30 a.m. We are also grateful for Rockaway Township Police Department, who also responded quickly to the fire emergency. Thank you, brave firefighters, for keeping our residents safe and protected with your prompt response, especially all the volunteers. Our citizens depend on you. This was a real fire that destroyed half of one building. Luckily, no one was injured. We will forever be grateful to these brave responders. Thank you for your service. So besides them, the police, and also our health department showed up. We coordinated with they coordinated with the Red Cross. So I think fire department, police sometimes are departments we don't recognize until we need them. And we appreciate it. If you guys could stand up, and I want to give you a round of applause.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Coward?
Thank you, Council President. The administration wanted to thank all those volunteers in Rockaway Township for all they do to help make Rockaway Township a special place to live. In the interest of promoting volunteerism, we've put forward a proclamation for April as Volunteer Appreciation Month, and we intend to promote volunteerism in parallel with a new community volunteer email subscription service on the township website, available under How Do I Get Involved for the month of April and thereafter. Residents who are interested in getting involved are invited to subscribe with their name and email on the website, again under How Do I Get Involved, and can expect that future community volunteer opportunities will be shared right to their email inbox. Any community organizations that have an upcoming need for community volunteers can send the details of that opportunity to rtadmin@rockawaytownship.org, which will again be shared under How Do I Get Involved at rockawaytownship.org. And just wanted to thank all community volunteers. So the Township Proclamation, whereas the month of April has been designated nationally as Volunteer Appreciation Month to recognize the hard work, dedication, and passion of volunteers throughout our nation, and whereas civic engagement and volunteer service strengthens the fabric of our nation and reflects the true heart, spirit, and goodness of America, and whereas the Township believes that the government alone cannot meet all the needs of residents and so partners with businesses, nonprofit organizations, foundations, and individuals to serve residents and improve the community. And whereas the Township of Rockaway seeks to commemorate Volunteer Appreciation Month to recognize its valued volunteers and service members. And whereas the Township is committed to encouraging volunteerism and service amongst its employees, citizens, partners, businesses, and organizations to thank all volunteers. Now, therefore, I, Joseph Jackson, Mayor of the Township of Rockaway, do hereby proclaim April 2022 as Volunteer Appreciation Month in the Township of Rockaway, and call upon all residents to publicly salute the service of those volunteers in our community and communities across the nation.
Thank you.
All right.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Okay, item number 9, R22-61, resolution authorizing an executive closed session in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act to discuss contract negotiation, personnel matters, and anticipated litigation. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Witovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes. Okay, so at this time, the council is going to adjourn to a closed session. We're setting the time for 30 minutes. If at any point we feel we're going to exceed those 30 minutes, we will come back in and alert to let you know.
question. I mean, that means for the first time in 3 years, and they stay here for 5 minutes and they leave. Absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason they can't do that ahead of time. I got something to talk about. That's why I It's gonna be
that's why you're closer to the door. I forgot to tell you that. That's why we put you by the door.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to end the closed session and return to open meeting.
I'll second it.
Mary and John. Please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Witovich?
Yes.
Vice President Sackett?
Yes.
President Kritz?
Yes, that's 7 yeses. Okay, we are going to begin the open to the public portion. Now, I just want to announce, we're going to have an open to the public, then after the open to the public, we are going to vote on adopting the ordinance regarding what I think most of you are here for, is the development over in the Birchwood section. Now, when we go over that ordinance, there is going to be an open to the public for that specifically. All right, so what I'm going to ask is, if you want to speak about the Birchwood ordinance, please wait. This open to the public session right here is going to be for anything not pertaining to that. And then immediately after that, we'll move to the next item, and then we will hear everybody in turn. Everybody will get a chance that wants to speak. Everybody will have a chance to speak on the Birchwood ordinance, and then the council will vote on that, okay? There will be a time limit of 3 minutes per, and I'll remind that when you come up to the microphone, please state your name and address for the record. So, moving on to item 10, Diane Grahowski? Okay. Right on the other side. Other side.
Good evening. My name is Diane Grahowski, and I'm a lifelong resident of 59 years at 354 Richard Mine Road in Rockaway Township. I have come before the Town Council this evening requesting permission to grant one speed bump in front of the Irish American Club and between 347 and 351 Richard Mine Road. Within the years, 5 accidents have occurred, one involving a Wharton police officer, one involving a mail truck, 2 involving destroying private property, and 1 involving damage to the Irish American Club due to speeding and not paying attention. There is a slight bend going west in the road in front of 354. There is a blind spot driveway in front of 351. With all the recent traffic, it has become a danger to pull out of our driveways in this area. Traffic uses this area as a shortcut when Route 80 West is backed up. Mail trucks exceed the speed limit towards Route 15 to make their deliveries, as the annex is located on this road. The traffic is exceeding over 25 miles per hour after the Mountain View Manor. This is a residential area with no sidewalks. Neighbors walk their dogs and walk to the Circle K gas station along this area. It is getting worse in the more volume from Pondview Estates across Route 15 and the residents from Mountain View Manor. I have contacted Lieutenant Tom, who's in charge of the town's traffic department, and he has installed a speed box and a radar check to monitor the speed in the traffic. He has gone over all the evidence that the traffic is exceeding 25 miles per hour and is willing to comply with any documentation that is needed. The Records Department has all the information regarding the past 5 accidents. Now is the time to make this request before the town repaves the road, which is in desperate need. Please consider this needed request for the safety of the tax-paying residents of Rockaway Township. Thank you, Diane Grahowski, and the residents of Richard Mine Road. Thank you.
I would ask if you have prepared notes, if you could email those to our administrator and our chief.
What I just said?
Yeah, if you have it.
Okay.
I'd like them to take a look into it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Lardy?
Michael Lardy, 19 North Brookside Drive. Welcome back. It's nice to see that you all remember to wear pants. I really didn't have much to say tonight. The administration was taking care of a couple of my questions, but when you went into closed session at 7:08, I mentioned to the lawyer why this couldn't be done before the meeting, and he said it can't be, so possibly a change in an ordinance or something could be done to have this many people come out to sit at a meeting, and as soon as you start the meeting, you go into closed session. I understand things have to be done in closed session, but could it possibly be done before the start of the public meeting? Since it wasn't something that came up, it was obviously a planned closed session. So if that could be looked into, it would probably be appreciated by everybody that had to sit here for an extra half an hour. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Harmke?
I'm for the Birchwood.
Okay. Dominic DeCastro?
Dominic Nicastro, 9 Lennox Road, Rockaway. Good to see everybody in person again. I got 2 questions. My mail in my area, which has nothing to do with this, I get notices, I don't get notices. When a regular mailman's on, I do. I never got the notice on the water department with the contamination of 2 wells. I called City Clerk Chris this week, and she helped me talk to the superintendent of the water department called me. And I'd like to know first the status of those 2 contaminated wells, because I got a neighbor coming down when I was walking my dog and working by my car, and he was all upset and telling me, did you get the notice? Don't drink the water, you're going to get sick. And I said, I've been drinking the water. I hope to God it isn't what you're saying it is, because, I don't want to look under the sheets and see if I'm glowing at night, So I don't know what's going on with that. That's my first question. My second question is Peterson Field. I see that we got everything going on, and I bring it up a lot of times. I brought it up about maybe 3 years ago. Bocce ball courts. I'm looking to see if we could put them in. A lot of us over here want to play. I belong to Unicom, the past national president of Unicom National, which was through the whole United States. We do have a contest that goes in Montville State Park. And what we do is we have 4 bocce ball courts, 2 and 2. And then we have scoreboards with pegboards, and we have benches. And we could have that as a nice sport. It'd be fun. But I never got a finalizing answer on what's going on with it. We're talking a lot about it, but is it in this budget, what they're doing up the street for me? Or is it not, where is it going to be? Because I didn't see anything on that. I see the field getting done, and I'm glad. I like what's going on with the park. So those are my 2 questions. I'd like to find out about that. Bocce ball's fun for everybody. We can make teams. We talked about it a lot, all of us in this committee here, and then the new people I didn't get to talk to you about, but congratulations to all you new people too. And that's what I got to say. And it's good to see you again, or everybody in person.
Thank you. I'm going to ask our water department to reach out. They're not here.
Yeah, he did reach me,
Okay.
and he told me 1 well was up. The other one isn't looking too good. So I had asked him, I says, is it expensive to make a new well? Because if you got to be careful with this stuff with today's world, with everything, with cancer and everything.
Yeah.
So, he was a very nice young man, whoever he was. I never met him. But I told him I was going to come tonight and bring it up. And Chris, thank you for taking care of that when I called you to let me talk to him. So if you could find that out, I'd like to know what's going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
First of all, the water, it was corrected right away. We did a tour for the letter that you're talking about, the levels.
The water.
Right.
Okay.
It was correct, and the levels are well below.
Well, he told me 1 was corrected, 1 isn't. This was just
one
the
shut
other
off,
day.
Yeah, but,
This the other day.
yeah. Oh, the other day, because
Yeah, I just
we
spoke
were
to
under the
him.
impression that was,
Yeah, I just spoke
system
to
is okay.
When did I call you, Chris? Was it yesterday or
Last week,
last week? I thought it was this week.
early last week.
Okay.
So here's what I recommend, because we are not the experts on that, so what I would ask you to do is to call
Double check, yeah.
again tomorrow, and she'll put you in touch directly, and you'll get your answer.
Okay, I just want to see, make sure we get it straightened out.
Yep.
So I can tell the guy up the street too not to worry,
Yeah,
because
you can drink it.
he's running up and down the street and it's driving a few of it.
And I
All right,
believe
thank
also-
you.
Also, Dominic?
Yeah.
The bocce ball courts?
Yeah, we're gonna play?
Are in the plan where they had the baseball batting cages. That's where they're gonna be put.
In the back?
Yes.
We're gonna get 4?
Well, 2 on each side, right?
Two and,
Yeah.
2 and 2. This way we can.
And I'll name a
Just-
bench after you.
I'll tell you what, that'd be good.
Okay.
Name it after my mother and father that
Okay.
died. That's better. Thank you.
Mark Krukar? I'm here for the word for the ordinance. Okay. Judy Rodeman?
He's the one that calls me every other day.
And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing names.
No, it's fine.
I knew it was perfect.
Judy Rodeman, 207 Jackson Avenue. I'm here with an important issue that needs addressing. And basically, for the past 14 months or longer, we have had cars that are speeding in addition to the altered mufflers. Now I understand, and I got an email, that this is a law on the New Jersey books, that they're not allowed to alter the mufflers. So my question is why, if we know the cars and who's doing it, why they can't go to their house and tell them to put it back to the way it was. In addition, why do they allow people that fix the cars to do that? I don't understand. There's a law in the books. I don't understand how they get away with it. And someone's going to get killed with all the speeding that's going on. I have a whole letter here, but I decided to drop it. They speed down my street, going at about 40 to 60 miles more than the speed limit of 25. And we see it all the time at all hours of the day and night. And especially the mufflers, you get waken up in the middle of the night. I don't know. We've spoken to Lieutenant Tom. He says, call me when it happens. We call him, but nothing gets done. Could someone answer me why they don't get these cars off the road? Why they allow them to keep driving? Does anyone have an explanation for that?
Keep in mind, this council is not we don't enforce, we're not in law enforcement, right? So I would ask.
But the police are, right?
Right, and again, we are not the police, right? I understand, but I would urge you to do the same thing and, put everything and email our business administrator and our chief of police.
We already have it in an email.
Okay.
We have all the we have the houses, we have the cars, we have
Right.
the makes, the models.
I will ask him to address it in his report.
We can address it, the chief's here, he can talk about that in his report. When we get to him, when he has his report later on.
Nothing gets done. And especially in addition to that, how about the buses that don't all have cameras and people are going right past the buses? Now, do they not care about the law or they just don't know the law? That's really, someone's going to get killed. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. So,
Again, completely empathize, however, that is a matter for the police department. And I'm going to ask the chief to address that in his
right,
report.
well, they get our complaints all the time. We're constantly calling. And like I said, it starts at 8:15 in the morning and it goes all through the day.
I understand.
So, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Gopal, and I'm sorry, on the last name? Okay, and you want to speak on the ordinance or on something else? Okay, we're going to come to that in a second. Okay, is there anybody else that wishes to speak on a matter not related to the upcoming ordinance?
I forgot one thing when I was up. Okay. I appreciate it. Michael Elordi, 19 North Brookside Drive. I don't know if the township has considered a dog park at Peterson, either with this renovation or one in the near future. Because White Meadow Lake was trying to do a dog park for White Meadow Lake, but this really isn't a piece of property that's away from enough houses and has enough infrastructure to allow it for the most part we haven't found. So we were hoping that the township may consider either there or up on Green Pond or someplace, because there is a large demand for it. And we're probably not able to do it with our available lots.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Ms. Coleman? I'm sorry. Sorry, sir, you're next.
Hi, everybody. Emily Coleman, 18 Lakeshore Drive. Just in lieu of the election season that's coming up, I don't know how this would work or whatever, but I know other towns don't have lawn signs on public property. If you want to have them on your own property, that's great. It's wonderful. Cover your lawn. But as far as like public property, I don't know what we would need to do to maybe, if there's interest in not having them like everywhere, because I mean, environmentally, they're terrible for the environment, and number two, they hardly ever get picked up, and I just think it would be a way to keep our town beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir?
My name's Daniel Joy, live on 467 Mount Hope Road. I'll remember next time to wear pants, so I'm sorry about that. And I was just going over the directions here, and I appreciate you putting on the agenda, the closed session, and letting us know that there was a closed session, and it just didn't happen out of the clear blue, but I appreciate that. I just retired after 26 years with the police department, and so I got a little bit of time on my hands now, so I'm doing a little coaching and helping my mom out. And my mom's getting a little elderly, and I never really, in other words, I see it in a different light now that my dad passed, and she relies on the bus that takes her, and Councilman Quinn knows my mom. And I don't know if it's rumors or if it's true, but apparently there's it's out there, but there's a future wannabe mayor that's wants to lower the budget, and one of his big things is to take away from the seniors. Whether it's true or not, I hope it ain't, because I know this mayor is great here, and it'll be a shame. They made us who we are. We all have moms, we all have dads. We're going to be all one day, and it's the seniors and the kids, and that's what it's about. And it would be a damn shame if somebody steps and takes over who takes anything away from the seniors. And what else I was going to say? One more thing. The other thing was referring to with the properties. I'll hold back on that for now. Thank you.
Thanks. I will tell you that the budgeting piece is going to be coming up in future meetings, and I think you'll be okay. We all feel the same way, is what I'll tell you. Okay, anybody else wish to speak on anything other than the ordinance? Sir?
Hi, my name is Joe Grosh. I just want to express my concerns. I side with Diane here.
Sorry, your address for the record?
351 Richard Mine Road. I would like the speed bump to be put in. I do have a 3-month-old son, and I have witnessed 3 accidents in the 2 years I lived there. And I just want to express my concern. That's all.
Anybody else? Okay, we're going to close the open to the public portion and move on to item 11, ordinances to adopt. An ordinance amending Chapter 54 entitled Land Use and Development of the Code of the Township of Rockaway, creating a new section 54-30.70 entitled RMF 3 Multifamily Residential District. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, we are now going to have an open to the public session for this ordinance specifically. Jim Harmke?
Hi, James Harmke, 17 Heather Court. I am speaking, also I got together with 16 and number 7 Heather Court, instead of all of us coming and saying the same things, that we just, made up one little script here. I thought years ago when this came up with the houses being built, I guess it was like 10, 12 years ago, I expressed my frustration about it hurting the value of my home. I was told directly by the board that $700,000 homes would increase the value of my home. That was now incorrect, now that you're considering changing the ordinance, which will destroy my property value. A lot of my savings are tied into my house, which I paid top dollar to be on a cul-de-sac, and changing this ordinance will destroy that. Putting a street through would mean parking will be a nightmare on what was a cul-de-sac. So I'm really hoping to, that this is voted down. Number two, for those who don't know the term spot zoning, that is the process of singling out a parcel of land for use clarification totally different from that of the surrounding area for the benefit of the owner of such property and to the detriment of other owners. Detriment to the other owners is actually an understatement, as the only ones who will benefit from this is the ones trying to change this. Every board member, that was it. Number three, every board member who has answered my emails, which a lot of you have, and thank you, has said that this will not be happening for many years. But, this lawsuit, I believe, says it has to happen by 2025. So if it has to happen by 2025, then just vote no because it's irrelevant to the lawsuit, and let's not ruin our whole neighborhood. Number four, if you change your ordinance from a few homes being built to 30 to 40 condos, it's going to increase the traffic going past the firehouse, and even more importantly, past Birchwood Elementary and on Daniel, and that can be avoided just by voting no. Seems like a no-brainer to not allow so much traffic to be increased in front of an elementary school and firehouse. It's just a side note, as an animal lover, all we have are animals in there. Foxes, coyotes, we have everything. And they're gonna have nowhere to go. And that just is sad. I have a big paragraph, but I'll make this one quicker. I had, never had any water issues. Complained about the last time that I'm gonna have water issues because it's gonna come from the hill. They said, that, it's gonna be taken care of. They cleared the area. I lost 8 trees just in my property, and I have pictures of them. I had $30,000 in damages to the pool and taking care of these trees and the damage to knocking down my shed and everything. Now, I literally have ponds all over my yard when it rains just because of that. Water basin isn't going to take care of it when you're considering doing a multifamily that completely just gets rid of a 25% impervious coverage and makes it now 60%, which I'm sure they're going to ask for variances or whatever it's called to make even less, like they did last time.
Mr. Harmke, I am going to ask because we are over time. Is there any final point?
Yes, this will be in closing, my last one then, all right. In closing, if you allowed this to go through on Heather Court, you are destroying the value of our homes and the life we created here. It is just flat out unfair and acceptable to even consider it. I, as well as the Township of Rockaway, have been lied to since the beginning by the developer. Many instances where he flat out lied. He lied to you about saying he's going to build houses, now he wants to do this. I really hope that everyone votes no, as any other vote is either spot zoning or just not caring about the residents. If you vote yes, it's saying you care about the residents. Thank you.
Mark Krupar. And I'm just going to remind about the 3 minutes.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Mark Krukar, 6 Heather Court. My wife and I have called Heather Court home since 1990 when the subdivision was built. You all have hopefully received a copy of a letter that I emailed last week with all of the problems that I'm going to cite tonight. Not all of them. I'll highlight most of them. We're requesting that you vote no against approving this ordinance to rezone the property. As you all may know, most of the property is currently zoned R20, which is single-family residential zoning, minimum lot size of 20,000 square feet. So if you approve this ordinance, it will result in increased traffic burden on local roads, as Jim mentioned, including Arch Street, Daniel Street, Erin Way, Heather Court. Erin Way and Heather Court were never designed to accommodate the additional vehicle volume that a multifamily project will create. Not opinion, fact. There will be detrimental impact on township schools, fire, emergency services, as well as wildlife, as Jim mentioned. We used to have black bear right up the street in those woods. They're not here anymore. The rezoning would not be in character with the Birchwood neighborhood. The Birchwood neighborhood is predominantly single-family residential zoning. And to place a multifamily property in the middle of residential single-family properties is just not right. As Jim mentioned, this whole spot zoning issue is not part of the township's master plan. I've looked at the master plan. This property, again, was R20 zoning. As Jim mentioned, this development could potentially and most likely will create additional drainage, groundwater problems, and flooding for any properties down gradient from the site. And if anyone is aware, you may not be aware of the property, it's at the base of a steep slope, which the pinnacle is Morris Street. If you take a ride to Morris Street, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, up Daniel Street. The site, along with other nearby properties, has freshwater wetlands as it stands today. The drainage from this site will create additional groundwater runoff and flooding throughout any neighborhood that's down gradient. Again, the property's zoned R20. There are numerous other properties in the nearby area that are much more conducive to multifamily development due to already existing road infrastructure. There are properties in the mall, which I understand have a multifamily overlay that's been approved for multifamily development. There's another property right on Mount Hope Ave next to the former Little Learner Academy that's been standing vacant for how long now? Those are all zoned for multifamily. And again, the road infrastructure already exists in those neighborhoods. To create 6 affordable housing units in this project will not make a dent in the township's obligation for providing affordable housing. Based on the facts outlined and all of the supporting comments made and all of my fellow residents appearing here, I believe it's in the township's best interest to agree with the residents and vote against approval of the proposed ordinance. Thank you, and please do the right thing.
Gopal, and I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last. Chowder.
My name is Gopal Chawla. I'm a long-time resident of Rockaway.
I'm sorry, your address for the record.
Yeah, my address is 142 Mount Pleasant Avenue.
Thank you.
That's one of the property. And I'm a long-term resident of Rockaway Township. I live in R20 zoning. When I got 1.79 acre of land, I'm paying taxes on 1.79 acre of land. When I can comply with R20 zoning, why this developer who is out there to make a buck cannot comply with it? I have drawings, he has been approved for 6 homes, I have no problem, he building a 6 homes. But this changing of the zoning to me, like he's taking out money from my pocket, and I'm going to fight for it. And I request you, this should be turned down, no question asked. This is total rezoning of the property. We all came into the neighborhood, this is our R20 zoning. If he doesn't like it, get the hell out, go someplace else. Okay, no, go someplace else, don't come in my neighborhood. I don't mind going to a homeless shelter, donating money, put my time in, but I don't bring my homeless person in my family house. So he has no business bringing this low-income family housing in our neighborhood. So that's my take on it. I paid taxes. And if town is looking for the low-income housing obligation, I built home in Robin Street I'm currently living in. I'm pretty sure the last of the homes who have been built in the neighborhood, I paid $7,000 hard and cash paid for affordable housing. So there is no justification bringing affordable housing in my neighborhood when we are paying, we have already paid into it. And we are taxpayers and our views should be heard and this should be turned down. I hope you guys do the right thing, but if you choose not to do it, okay, I'm going to go to the court. I got a legal course. I have a daughter who's an attorney working for a corporation law firm. I'm going to go to the courthouse. Don't take this as a threat. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to seek a favor from my daughter. Okay, that's not what I as a parent aspire to be. But if you force me to go that route, I will. So I hope you guys get the message. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Daniel Joy.
Hang on.
This is 46.
I'm sorry. I just want to go down. No, nobody else on. All right, and this is in,
This is reference to the,
to the ordinance?
yes,
Okay.
yes. To be honest with you, I don't live anywhere near that area. However, I do go to the parish, the church there, and they have a new priest that took over. He's about a year now, and everybody loves him. And my wife is Hispanic, so I do the English and the Hispanic mass. And when I tell you the stories I've heard that, like I've been hearing now, people pouring their hearts out, it would be a disaster if it gets approved. Once the woods, the wildlife, that nature goes, it doesn't come back. Most of us moved up here because of that. I grew up in a city. I don't know if anybody else in here grew up in a city, but we came up here for that atmosphere. And you do it once, you do it twice, and it just keeps going. And sometimes it ain't about money, it's about the peace of mind. And you got to put yourself in these people's shoes, buying a home and having that nice little protected area, and their kids and their what are the bears, the wildlife, and then that being taken away from them. It's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. And if it's over money, it's sad. I have a nice piece of property in the back of me on Mount Hope Road, and if anybody, like, I can feel for him, so I'm speaking for the people that I'm here, and it will be a political disaster with the amount of people that attend that mass. They love that priest. Like I said, you can't get a seat at 10:30 mass and 11:30 mass, and the word's spreading. And I feel for everybody who's against it, and that's what I want to say.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak on this ordinance?
Andrew Smith, 124 Mountain Road. I am one of the guys that killed the first guy's property value on the top of the hill there. My concern is that it just seems like this is not the greatest or most well thought out plan. We're looking at zoning a small sliver of property in the most densely populated part of Rockaway, and we're not even going to reach the requirements of the state for the zoning for the low-income housing. So I just want to express my concerns about that, and would like to understand what other properties, what other areas were looked at and considered for this. So how can we find that information?
If you want to send an email to our business administrator,
Okay.
she can go over all that information.
Okay, because I think we all have to share the same concerns that this is going to hurt property values, it's going to hurt traffic, and the overall neighborhood.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Jane File. I'm here on behalf of my
I'm sorry,
mother.
address for the record?
165 Mount Pleasant Avenue.
Okay.
I'm here on behalf of my mother. She has been a 65-year resident of Rockaway Township. She built on Mount Pleasant when it was a dirt road. She is very concerned regarding the traffic, the speeding on Mount Pleasant, and the environmental impacts that a development such as this being proposed would do. And she wanted me to express her concerns to you, the council. She built here because she loved Rockaway Township, she loved the area, she loved having a single-family residential dwelling, and she would like it to remain that way. And I just wanted to pass along her concerns to you all, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Randy Graham, 8 Moore Street. We moved into the area about 10 years ago, and our girls have gone off to college now, but we thought we'd live and die in this house. And I think that with this ordinance and the change, it's our whole ridge line is just up in arms over this whole thing. And so I just wanted to come and express my views. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Yang 1 Irwin Place. I've been a Rockaway resident for more than 20 years. I raised 2 daughters and I love this town. I have been paying my tax all the time. I have never even late for any payment. I have abided the laws. So I request you guys to vote no to the new ordinance. The reason is, think about somebody's doing something in your backyard, and that road, Mountain Press, is very crowded already, and everybody is seeing that. And accident, animal get killed on the road all the time. I just hope you guys vote no. If you just go ahead, use your power to say yes, most likely you're just going to kick another good resident like me out of the town, which I really don't want to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, I'll open up for council discussion. Any discussion? Okay. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn?
No.
Councilman Friedlander?
No.
Councilwoman Noon?
No.
Councilwoman Brooks?
No.
Councilman Watovich?
No.
Vice President Sackett?
No.
President Kritz?
No. That is 7 noes. It does not pass.
It's a big change from a few years ago.
I know. All right. I'd like to thank those who did show up and exercising your right. So that is appreciated. So thank you for doing it. Moving on to item number 12, public hearing in reference to the partial interior restoration and MEP upgrades of the Ford-Faesch Manor House. Resolution adopting pre-qualification regulations for bidders regarding the partial interior restoration and MEP upgrades of the Ford-Faesch Manor House. You guys don't want to hear about the Ford-Faesch House? No, just checking. It's exciting stuff.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Jonathan and Mary. All right, we are going to have another open to public session on this resolution. Is there anybody wishing to speak? Okay, any council discussion? All right, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander?
Absolutely, yes.
Councilwoman Noon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Watovich?
Yes.
Vice President Sackett?
Yes.
President Kritz?
Yes, that's 7 yeses. Motion passes. Can we shut those doors? If that's okay, or ask them? I will not.
Okay, now you can vote on it again.
Go back. Okay. Thank you. Okay, item number 13, consent agenda. A, R22-57, B, R22-58, C, R22-59, D, R-22-60, E, R-22-62, F, R-22-64, and G, R-22-65. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
John? Please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Witovich?
Yes.
Vice President Sackett?
Yes.
President Kritz?
Yes, that is 7 yeses, passes. All right, moving on to old business, new business, and reports. I am going to ask, I'm going to give each council person 5 minutes combined to go over, and we will start down at the end. Mr. Quinn.
It's rare I start. Thank you. Committee reports. Recreation Committee, we had a meeting last night. There was concerns. They're scrambling for fields because we're doing the work at Peterson. They all understand it will be a great place once everything is done. And they're looking forward to it finally getting done. But right now it's a little tough. Everybody's hanging in. Again, they're still looking for volunteers, so please volunteer. Under the planning board cleaned up some minor information that needed to be cleaned up, and they did send that ordinance to us, and I'm glad we voted it down. Moving on, Dial-A-Ride. As was said, March 28th, Dial-A-Ride had a trip to Cracker Barrel. We're back doing these little trips instead of just going to doctors and the kids that are OTC and are handicapped. It's a way for them to kick back and make friends because a lot of them don't have the ability to get out. So they go to Cracker Barrel. We had about 20 people there. They all pay their own meal, whatever they get, and it was a great time. We look forward to it. The next one is going to be P.F. Chang, and that will be on April 25th, 12 to 2. Anybody interested, call Veronica at 973-983-2839. That's a Dial-A-Ride, and I thank administration for supporting this. This is a great cause for the seniors, and they really enjoy it. And I am done. And everybody, I can't forget to say Happy Easter to everybody that celebrates. Have a safe and happy Passover for everybody that celebrates. And stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Friedlander.
Yes, thank you. Just a quick report. Library, remember people that on April 24th, the library fair will be outside, petting zoo, food trucks, a lot of tables being represented by the town, and it's a nice day for families. Ford-Faesch House had another program this past month, all about metal detecting. There were over 30 people. So, you check the website for the Ford-Faesch House, you'll see programs that are constantly being done. Again, the Historical Society wants to thank administration for getting the grant, and they're looking in for bids. Hopefully, there'll be a bathroom added to the building. There's going to be some renovations inside, and it's coming along well. Another thing, if you see around town, you'll see this Concert for a Cause. That's the Substance Abuse Alliance that runs four phases of substance abuse, of course, with Copeland. And I want everybody in town, all the husbands, take out their wives, May 19th, to the River Barn, because there's going to be a great concert there. You're going to hear the sounds of Chicago and Earth, Wind, Fire with Captains of Leisure, and the barn will donate 20% of your ticket, what you eat, and back into the substance abuse. So it's a good promotion for them, but it's also a great importance to the Substance Abuse Alliance. Again, this time of year, enjoy Easter with your family, people, and happy Passover for the rest of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brooks?
First, I'd like to thank the administration for making it Volunteer Month, and I love the concept of putting how you can help on the website. One of the biggest questions I get on a daily basis is, how do I volunteer? How can I help? Who can I talk to? So adding more information to our website that's easily accessible to our residents, I think, is super important. The next thing is, Peterson is an awesome project. I know there's been hiccups. I know there's concerns. Just my PSA, be nice. Please understand if there's a problem or a concern or a complaint, don't just put it on social media. You don't always have all the information. At the end of the day, Peterson was closed for the safety of all the residents, most importantly the kids. So sometimes just step back and say that no one was trying to take anything away. They're just trying to keep everybody safe. That being said, I'd also like to thank Al. We did go on an awesome tour on Saturday. I have to say, I never thought water and well pumps and all of that would be so exciting, but it's just awesome. Al has got a knowledge beyond belief, not only of the township, its infrastructure, but just all the fun, crazy acronyms I learned. So I feel very versed. So I want to say a huge thanks to Al. Hibernia Fire Department, the Ladies Auxiliary does an amazing fishing breakfast opening day every year. They just had it this past Saturday, rain and all. They do an awesome job. It was awesome to see all the kids out there fishing and just having everything kind of slowly coming back to normal. I'm super pumped about that. Other PSA, be on the lookout. It's nice out. The kids are out on the roads riding their bikes and their scooters and all of that, which then parlays into the speed hump. I'm going to call it a hump because I don't know if we can put a bump on Richard Mine Road. I've learned bumps and humps are different. But I would like the information and the reports that they do have on that mini traffic study I guess we've performed to see how we can do and help those residents to keep people safe.
That is a long straight.
I'm not very familiar with it, but I think I am because I am guilty. I have probably used it as a cut through once or twice, but I would like to see it. That would be appreciated. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Witovich?
I have nothing to report at this time.
Ms. Newton? No, I got a theme here. I'm coming. Do you not see what I'm doing?
I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Passover and happy Easter. Everybody has already said everything that I wanted to say. I did go to the Historical Society and my $20. That was very good about the metal detecting. They did say something, they were doing something on April 30th at the Ford-Faesch house. Do you remember what it was? April 30th? I just put in my phone April 30th, Ford-Faesch house. Okay, okay, all right.
On the website, on the 30th.
Share my screen at the end when we show you where the pixel is. He's trying to help me in.
Also, wanted to thank Al about the water tour. That was very interesting. And that's really it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Ditto on the tour with Al Noth. It was excellent. To see everything and all the work that's put in and the facilities that a lot of residents don't get to see in Rockaway. They do a great job. They're top notch and everything was great. I really enjoyed the tour. The Easter Festival at Copeland on Saturday, this past Saturday, was very nice, well attended as well. It's good to see all the kids out and everyone having a great time. Manny mentioned the library spring festival is 12 to 4 on the 24th. McJack mentioned last night was our first in-person Citizen Recreation Committee meeting as well in over 2 years, and a lot of new faces on the committee, eager to help. One of the residents spoke about the buses earlier. Myself, being a father of 4 kids, I see it myself. I live in White Meadow Lake. I see people drive by the buses frequently. It is an issue, so I definitely see it and hear you as well. And I'm hoping when we get to administration, maybe Pat can give an update about the water, if you have anything. And also, as well, the chief could give a little update as well, the one resident had spoke about. And everyone's celebrating Passover. Have a great holiday, great Seder. Have also a very nice Easter. Everyone's celebrating. And also, talking about the kids, spring break starts on Friday, so just be careful out there. There'll be more kids out and about starting this Friday and all of next week. And it's good to be here and good to see everyone live. Thank you.
Just to clarify on the DPW that you hear the council people talking about, as part of our budgeting process, we were asking a lot of questions. And what came out of that was an offer by Al Noth, the head of our DPW, to take us on a tour and go to many of the sites that we talk about frequently. You know, we talk about these water sites and the wells. Most of us have not actually been to the site, and it's a little bit different when the expert is walking you through and explaining exactly what it is we're talking about. And it was very beneficial. Most of us were there. I want to thank everybody for coming, and I want to thank Al for coming in on a weekend, on his time off, to take everybody through the different facilities that we have. It was very beneficial. Ms. Brooks mentioned the fishing. I also wanted to give kudos to the to Hibernia down there. It's, I forgot it was the beginning of fishing season. I saw the no parking signs going up, and I drove by there early on Saturday, and it felt normal again. So it was really good to see. The other thing that you mentioned that I feel very strongly about is when we had a temporary closure of part of Peterson. I personally am not a fan of, I call it trial by Facebook. And it was really, really good to see tonight. We had many residents who sent us letters, many contacted us, and I said, come and exercise your right to speak your mind. And I didn't see a lot on Facebook, maybe I just missed it, but this should be a perfect example that your town is here for you, and at the least your concerns will get looked at and investigated. It may not always be the answer that you're looking for, but at least you'll know that due diligence was done. And it was very good to see a large crowd here tonight and people speaking passionately, and it's an example of how the town should be working for you. Very, very seldom, if ever, will you see anybody on the council, not that they're not entitled to, but don't respond on Facebook, because it's just a back and forth, and it just doesn't make sense. So I want to thank people for that. The Rockets have opened up their signups again. I know that football season and cheer season is right around the corner. Signups are open. Also, good news on the volunteer. The How Can I Help? Mr. Coward, I'd like to volunteer on your volunteer site. So I'll ask you how I can help with you and what you're trying to do. I think it's excellent. And that is all I have. So we will go to the mayor for his report.
Thank you. Before I get started, I was wondering if you turn out the light to see if Dominic's glowing. I don't know if you are yet, Dom, or what?
I'm not glowing yet, but I'll keep you informed.
All right. So, one of the things I'm going to start doing at the first council meeting every month, we have a decent amount of veterans that work for the township in different roles within the township, and they're a big part of our workforce. So I'm going to be recognizing a veteran at the first council meeting every month. And this month I'm going to recognize Lieutenant Michael Datchson. He's a lieutenant in the patrol division of our police force. He enlisted in the Army in 2004 and served until 2016 in the Army Reserves and National Guard. First served as an enlisted person in the Military Police Corps, and then as an infantry officer. Eventually attained the rank of captain. He's a graduate of the U.S. Army Ranger School. In 2008, he deployed in Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and was awarded a Bronze Star. He served as a light infantry platoon leader, assistant battalion operations officer, and later as the commander of a heavy weapons infantry company. So these are some of the heroes that we have that defended our country and are working for us now, and hopefully the first and not hopefully, the first meeting of every month, I'm going to be talking about another one of our great employees that serve their country. Moving on, I appreciate that the council was able to go on the tour with Al North. When I first took over as mayor that first week, I went up to DPW and met with Al, met with his team, and he kind of came up with the idea for the tour, and I think the budget process was good because it made you start asking the questions, and he went up and offered it up, and I think it was great, and I'm glad everybody, as I've said to Al, the DPW is the backbone of our township. The pretty stuff is Peterson Field and all that stuff, but that's what makes our town operate is the people in DPW and the police force and the fire and, all those things. Easter Festival, was a great job done by Dave Dyer and his team, Sue Gabe, some people from Parks and Rec. The police were there with that creepy Rocky driving thing. It's a little car. The kids love it. I mean, they just flock around it. So it was just a great job by the entire team. And it was great. Talk about people here tonight, seeing so many kids out in one place, having fun together with their parents. My wife used to take our kids when they were younger. It was really nice to see, and I appreciate the council members that came. Talked several times tonight, different people about Peterson Field. We have a meeting, Dave Dyer, myself, and a few other people have a meeting with the program heads tomorrow night to talk about some of the things we're doing. Dave's been all over the place trying to find other fields. We're working with other towns, Picatinny, things like that. We're doing whatever we can to find fields to meet the needs. But the most important thing is that, if people are going to Peterson, it's got to be a safe environment, and it just wasn't, so that's why we shut it down. I believe next meeting we'll be presenting the budget for adoption, so keep that in mind for our next meeting. And with that, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. Yachafano?
Thank you, Council President. It's really great to see everybody for real, okay? Council President, I didn't realize you were as tall as you are. Councilman Friedlander, it's nice to see you, period.
I'm surprised.
As opposed to some computer difficulties.
He's the only one that's been here for the last 2 years.
I have a number of things to report to the council and to the public. The first thing, which I'm sure the council is interested in, is the Board of Adjustment Commissioners' meetings or hearings, if you prefer, on Bowlbyville have concluded. The report from the board will be submitted to the council in approximately 2 weeks, and then it will be the decision of the council from that point, after they've considered the report, as to how the council wishes to proceed. So that long and torturous process is finally over. There are a number of people that need to be thanked to get us to the point where we are. Regrettably, our former tax assessor, Mark Burek, I say regrettably because Mark is passed, Pat Seeger, Chrissy Clipperton, and our engineer, Allison Ferranti, all were of tremendous assistance in just getting this to the point where we can conclude the hearing. I'd also like to thank the members of the board, led by its chair, Jim Waters, who's here tonight. He was also instrumental through the whole process in just getting us past square one and to the finish line. So again, Jim, thank you very much. Another report, the litigation report. Last time I reported to you on litigation was several meetings ago. At that time, there were 2 lawsuits, approximately 5 government record council complaints, and 1 appeal, all attributable to Mr. Kelly. I'm pleased to report to the council that after a long wait, undoubtedly initiated by COVID, the Appellate Division of Superior Court has dismissed Mr. Kelly and Mr. Schmidt's appeal, so that matter is now concluded. and the decision rejecting the applications they made at the time, which included the application to unseat Councilman Brooks, have been rejected. Another lawsuit from Mr. Kelly recently walked in. I haven't been able to fully analyze the suit because it's been sent around in about at least 6 separate emails, and it hasn't been formally served yet, but it is a lawsuit whereby Mr. Kelly is challenging the vote of the Rockaway Township Republican Committee to award the party slogan, which is Regular Republican Organization, to Mayor Jackson. Now,
What's his first name?
Tucker Kelly.
Okay. That's the one, he's a jerk off. He's the one that is with the seniors. I just didn't remember his name. He's bad news.
That's not a legal opinion.
He's in here.
In any event, the lawsuit is interesting because the local Republican committee voted consistent with the policies of the Morris County Republican Committee to vote for the Republican candidate who should be awarded use of the slogan Regular Republican Organization. Mr. Kelly has, however, selectively filed suit. He's filed suit against the Township of Rockaway and the Rockaway Township Morris County Republican Committee, which is the local committee. He's also filed suit against someone known as Acting Mayor Jackson, and he refers to himself in the complaint as Councilman Kelly. Now, look, it's incorrect because if Mayor Jackson has been acting, he's been acting awful hard in the work that he does for the township. But as we know, he is in fact the mayor. So that lawsuit will probably come to fruition, I would say definitely within the last month. And at some point, a court will decide who should get the slogan. And so that's where we are at that matter. So echoing Council Vice President Sackett, I wish everybody a happy Easter and a great Passover. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Seeger?
Yes, thank you. On a happier note, the sweeper is up and running. Thank you for your patience. It was waiting for parts. So it is up and running. And we ask everybody's patience. We put a new phone system in the township, and some people are having trouble getting to the correct department. It is being worked on, and we are diligently will fix it soon. Memorial Day Parade is May 30th. It will be in the borough. April 23rd is Clean Community Day, and we ask for volunteers to come and help sign up for helping us clean the township, and there will be free seedlings available to everybody who attends. The gentleman who asked about the wells, the new superintendent of the Water and Sewer Department, all water that is currently going through the system meets all DEP standards and for safe water drinking. We do have one well down. We had 2 down. Just so you know, we shut them down as soon as we get the water results back. Our new director has been thinking outside the box and got one back up that passed DEP testing, and we are working on the other one to find out if we can put it on, but rest assured it will never be put on until the water is safe to drink, according to the New Jersey Department of Protection, DEP. And I think that's all I have, except have a good holiday.
Thank you. Mr. Coward?
Nothing tonight.
Thank you.
Can I say something to the audience?
No, sorry. Chief?
Turn on your mic. Chief, if you could just bring.
Gonna turn it on, bottom.
Okay, since it's late, I'll make this quick. With the warm weather, we're actually more busy. As Mayor already alluded to, we supported the Easter Festival this past Saturday with Rocky, the robot dog. Everyone had a great time with that. Due to the instability in the world, I've reached out and contacted our rabbis, Rabbi Pop
over at the Shabbat Synagogue. Based upon what's been going on down in Lakewood and also the unrest today, with all the problems in Brooklyn, I've spoken to both rabbis. I asked them if there was any specific concerns or worries they had, and I've indicated to them that during this entire week, we're going to be increasing our patrols, not only of the synagogue, but also all the houses of worship in the township, just to more or less be proactive and prevent anything that might happen. Both of them expressed, appreciation for us, and, we explained to them, I won't go into detail here, but I explained to them what we're going to do. So basically, all the houses of worship are going to have increased security and property checks. A couple officers I'd like to recognize. On 31st of March, Officers Albert, Arthur Ventura, and Rojas responded to a call up in Tilcon of an unresponsive male slumped in a chair during a meeting. These officers responded and proceeded to implement CPR measures as well as use of the AED. This continued for 13 minutes of CPR, which is a long time if you've ever had to do CPR. And I'm happy to report that through the officers' efforts, by the time ALS and BLS arrived on the scene, the man had restored pulse and was breathing on his own. He was then transported to St. Clair's ER for further treatment. Also, in a similar case, Officer Chad Riley was patrolling over by the Target in the Town Square Mall when he saw a man collapse in front of him on the sidewalk in front of Target. This officer immediately exited his patrol vehicle and started to perform CPR on this individual. Thanks to his life-saving efforts and assistance from the bystanders, they were able to get the man back and restore a pulse of breathing, where he was therefore turned over once again to ALS and BLS on their arrival, and he was transported to the emergency room for further care. In regards to some of the concerns that were brought up tonight, in regards to the speed bumps, Mr. Gronowski, we will be working with the engineering who have to do the appropriate studies and stuff before they can determine if and where any of the speed bumps will have to go in. But since you've already been in touch with Lieutenant Tom, we'll be assigning some additional traffic radar details down there, especially during the morning rush hours, which seems to be the high tide for the people heading through. But once again, we'll have to await the engineering studies done before we can make any determinations on where exactly any speed bumps have to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mrs. Rudman, we've done, Lieutenant Tom has reached out, he has done a traffic study for Jackson and the surrounding streets, and unfortunately there is a speeding problem. What we're doing is, since the beginning of the year, we've had 18 radar traffic details over there, and that's resulted in 18 tickets being issued on Jackson Avenue, and 34 tickets being issued in the surrounding areas such as Miami, Algonquin, Cayuga, and West Lakeshore. So, just to let you know, the officers are out there running the details. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes a ticket to get people to obey the law, but, any other concerns, feel free to reach out to us. For Councilwoman Noon, the April 30th is the Pathways of History. That's where all the different historical societies on that one day open up their facilities and stuff for visits and stuff. And in regards to Vice President Sackett, in regards to the school buses being passed, whenever we get the complaints, if it's not a camera-equipped bus, we take a report off of the bus driver. We can sign a summons, but since the officer has not seen the violation, we have to subpoena in the bus driver to give the testimony. The other thing that we also do is, if it's like a chronic problem, especially on Green Pond Road, all we do, maybe I shouldn't be saying this in public, but all we do is we put a marked car behind the buses, and if somebody passes them, they whip out, stop the person, take the appropriate enforcement action. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Chief.
Hey, real quick, if I could just say, I personally want to thank the chief. He's at all these events, right? The Challenger League, the Easter thing. He goes to everything, and I really appreciate that you do that for our community, chief. So.
You made a great buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Can I just tell one more thing? I forgot to tell anybody, if you didn't get the notice for the water, we post every notice on our website. So he's very proactive about putting that up there, and he posted a report on putting one on and not the other. So please check our website.
Okay, thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting will be held April 26th. Thank you.